Brought to you by Summit Medical Group.
Welcome to Life and Living. I'm Joanna Gagis. In this first segment, we look at a nonprofit organization that treats over 4,000 injured and orphaned birds in New Jersey. It's the Raptor Trust, and it's in Millington, New Jersey, and I'm joined right now by its director, Chris Soucy. Welcome, Chris. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
I'm not only joined by Chris, I'm joined by your feathered friend.
Sylvie is an eastern screech owl. And it's a common owl in New Jersey. It's actually the most common owl in New Jersey, but because they rely on stealth and camouflage, even though they're common, most people don't see them very often.
Chris, it's called the Raptor Trust. Most people probably watching don't know what a raptor is. What's
Some
a raptor?
people probably think that they're dinosaurs from the Jurassic Park movie, right? Well, a raptor is a bird of prey, a hawk or an owl or an eagle or a falcon. A bird that has sharp talons and kills its prey, catches its prey with its sharp talons, and generally has a sharp hooked beak as well.
Is there a great need for care of birds in New Jersey?
There is. We have a pretty healthy human population in New Jersey, lots and lots of people, but as that population grows, we encroach upon the wilderness, and we're really competing for space, or actually really these animals are competing for space with us. We have a lot of endangered species in the state, not just birds, but all kinds of wildlife, and most of the problems are ones that we've created.
Well, what are most of the problems? What are the common injuries, the common ailments that you see in the bird population?
I would say that most of the birds that we see that are injured, probably 80% of them, come in due to some interaction with human activity. They may have flown into a window. That's not their fault. They may have flown into a power line. That's not their fault. They may have been tangled up in some fishing line. They may have been shot. They may have been poisoned. And all of those things are some intersection with human stuff. We've put them in harm's way, and it's not their fault. So one of the things we do at the Raptor Trust is try to fix them up and put them back in the wild.
So the goal is to get them back in the wild?
It is, yeah. We've handled 90,000 birds since we started.
And how many years ago did you start?
Oh gosh, my dad started the organization in 1982, and I was sort of by default the first volunteer there.
Yes, not even by choice, I bet.
Not by choosing when I was a kid, no. But it's been something that I've been close to my whole life.
And we're looking at a picture of your dad holding a bird right there. What kind of bird is he holding?
That's a barn owl, a bird that was once common in New Jersey, but loss of habitat has really been a problem for the barn owls. They like open spaces, they like farmlands, old barns and silos and water towers, and a lot of those kinds of structures are gone from New Jersey.
Less and less in New Jersey.
Yeah, so
today.
they don't nest here as commonly as they used to.
So when we talk about injured birds, who finds the birds? How do they get to you?
They come in shoeboxes most of the time.
By people who find them?
Yeah, a lot of people, individual citizens find a bird, and if they call their local municipality or their rescue squad or animal control officer or the Humane Society, sooner or later they'll find us. So animal control officers come all the time. People from wildlife centers and cat and dog shelters. I mean, any place that an animal might show up, most of those folks, if they're also doing that kind of work, know who we are. Individual people don't, but if they make a few calls, they'll find us. And we take in all birds, so robins and blue jays and green herons and any bird that's native to New Jersey and is either injured or orphaned, fallen out of the nest, they'll find their way to us.
Let me ask you this personal story. When I was younger, we had a bird literally fly into our back door and got stuck somehow in our hallway. So we ended up taking the bird, and I'm scared to tell you, we fed the bird. I believe we did call animal control, but we fed the bird some kind of watery oatmeal substance for a number of weeks, and the bird died.
Right.
And we were all heartbroken. Moral of my story and the question here is, what should people do if they find a bird? Should they try to care for the bird on their own?
The course of action they should take, I would say, depends on what the status of the bird is. Is it a baby bird? If possible, we like to let the birds raise the birds. They do such a good job of it. And we've learned to do it at the Raptor Trust, but still the birds do it better. So if it's possible to put a baby bird back in the nest, that's what we recommend. So if you find a really tiny baby, no feathers, and just really an egglet, look around, look up. If you can find the nest, try to put it back. If the nest has been damaged or destroyed or knocked down in a storm or something, or the parents are nowhere nearby, you can bring it to us and we'll care for it. The best thing to do is, put it in a box, keep it quiet, keep it calm, keep it dark, and take it to someone who can care for it. They all have really specialized diets, and it's very hard to know if you're just picking up something on the ground. What does it eat? It could be an insectivore, it could be a fruit eater, it could be a seed eater, and if you feed it the wrong thing, it could injure the bird and harm it.
Now, what if you find a raptor? These are larger birds. They have sharp talons. I don't picture myself going and
Right.
picking up a raptor and bringing it to you.
Be careful.
Well, yes. How do I be careful? What should I do?
Heavy gloves is a good start. Maybe the first call is to local animal control, because they may have some equipment, maybe even some experience that can help. There are some organizations in New Jersey that do capture and transport training for wildlife. So lots of animal control officers, even though they mostly deal with domestic animals, do have some wildlife training. So they may be able to help. Short of that, for instance, red-tailed hawks are pretty common in New Jersey. If you find one with a broken wing, it's not able to fly. If you can approach it and pick it up, there's already a problem with the bird, right? They're wild animals. They don't want to be picked up if they can possibly help it. So if you have to get close to it, be careful. Gloves, and maybe throw a towel over it or something so that you can try to get under it and scoop it up and keep the business end of the bird away from you. Get it in a box as quickly as possible.
And get it to you as quickly as possible.
There's other wildlife rehabilitators in the state too. There's about a dozen wildlife rehabbers that deal with birds. There are some mammal rehabilitators. There are some reptile and amphibian rehabbers, and you can go to the Fish and Wildlife Service website and find that information.
And finally, people can come to the facility, take a look around. There's an education piece here.
One of the components of our mission is education. So we have several acres of paths and sort of a self-guided tour. We have about 50 permanent resident raptors there, hawks and owls and eagles and falcons, and they've all been injured in one way or another and can't be released back into the wild. Sylvie was found caught by a cat when she was just fallen out of the nest, and we don't know if she fell out of the nest and then got caught by a cat, or if a cat got her in the nest and then she fell. But in any case, she had some injuries and cannot be released back into the wild. She can't hunt, she can't fly well enough. So if we can't get them into the wild, sometimes we're able to keep them, and then people can come and see them and learn about them. We have Boy Scout groups and school groups and civic clubs and garden clubs come all the time. We're open as long as the weather is good, 365 days a year.
Chris Soucy, Director of the Raptor Trust, Millington, New Jersey. I encourage all of our viewers to take a look, learn a little bit, something that maybe you didn't know about raptors right here in New Jersey. Chris Soucy, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And Sylvie says thanks too.
Thank you, Sylvie, for being here with us. We enjoyed your company.
Brought to you by Summit Medical Group, the North Ward Center, Seton Hall University, and by New Jersey Sharing Network.